Okay, take two. I'm trying to not jostle the microphone too much in this damn car, but it's a peaceful night out, and it's like 2 hours till this store closed, which is just enough time to chill in the parking lot while people are still like milling about and stuff before I can head home and hopefully try to get this shit up before midnight. We will see. I don't know why I'm playing chicken with my own personal project, but such is the life of an ADHD creative, you know? Anyway, who am I? I am a multidisciplinary artist who is in need of yet another creative outlet. And I'm satisfying this itch because this kind of stuff, the urge to make podcasts, developed in everybody I know sometime within the last 10 years. But me, I've been into podcasting technically since about 2006 when my dad got me my first iPod and he got his first MP3 player, and he was saying that we should start a father-daughter political debate podcast. In 2006, no lie. Of course, my mother nixed that. But anyway, like that goes to show you, I've been in this shit for damn near 2 decades, you know? So, starting out being a child in that kind of shit, of course, by now, pushing 30, I'm going to be joining the whole podcast era thing too. Anyways, all my rambling aside, some of my influences include like the really kind of autistic part of YouTube, commentary YouTube, that people like Magic Mush cover on their channel. Um, Stuff like Sway Calloway and Ed Lover on like Black radio and like urban radio. Um, the fake Disney Channel pundits, like if y'all remember Movie Surfers, the thing with Allison Stoner where it was like Mike Super Short Show. Oh my God. The Disney 411, not 365, but 411. Things like that. Of course, oh my goodness, AVGN, Nostalgia Critic, before Channel Awesome started going but you know what I mean. Um, Princess Weeks I was watching back during the Melina Pendulum days. Like I am an OG Princess Weeks fan, so it was such a trip when I decided to go back to school as an adult, and then because I'm in school for writing, then I'm getting assigned uh fucking analyzing Princess Weeks and Lindsay Ellis videos. Like this shit, YouTube is godly. YouTube is 20 years old. It's 20 years old. And anyway, all that, my love of like new media broadcasting, of course, this is where I'm ending up now as I near the end of my bachelor degree. Anyway, let's move on to my first actual topic, which is the football horror movie. I guess the football horror movie, everybody fucking hates it. And I'm a little surprised. The thing is like, I didn't think that him was going to be like this tour de force. Like, I could tell what kind of movie it was. And sidebar, everybody keeps saying the Jordan Peele movie, the Jordan Peele movie. This is like, he didn't direct it. I started going crazy because I was like, I remember when I started seeing those trailers and I'm like, oh, it's Jordan Peele. Oh no, he's producing. And I had to double check. And thankfully this article I printed out says, yeah, this is from Letterboxd. Him, 2025, directed by Justin Tipping. It's produced by Jordan Peele, I think through that Monkey Paw Productions thing. Anyway, I'm not saying that doesn't mean that it's not supposed to have like his house style or whatever, but it's not a Jordan Peele vision thingy. Anyways, yeah, people hate the football horror movie. I didn't know it was gonna get this much vitriol because I remember seeing some of the trailers earlier this year, and I got excited because I happen to have read this YA horror that came out last year that's called Ruined Road by Lamar Giles. And I'm finna read the synopsis. I'll try to skim it a little bit so I'm not reading all these paragraphs, but The main part of the copy from his blog reads, Cade Webster lives between worlds. He's a standout football star at the right school, but lives in the wrong neighborhood, if you let his classmates tell it. Everywhere but home, people are afraid of him for one reason or another. Afraid he's too big, too fast, too ambitious, too black. Then one fateful night, to avoid a dangerous encounter with the police, he ducks into a pawn shop. An impulse purchase and misspoken desire change everything when Cade tells the shopkeeper he wishes people would stop acting so scared around him, and the wish is granted. And basically, I've read it, so... And are people, like, drag racing in this damn thing? I am so sorry. But, anyway, like, I've read the book, and it's about, like, a Faustian deal he makes. You know, like, wishes gone wrong, like, that whole stuff. It's really fun. It's campy. I recommend it. It's YA horror, so, you know, you get those messages accordingly. It's about teenagers, but it has really, really well-written AAVE. I love when AAVE feels like it just rolls off. Like, when you're reading it, you can just picture the voices so easily without, like, crazy spellings having to be done and shit like that. Lamar Giles, But anyway, you hear that synopsis of that one, right? Then we go over to what Letterboxd, and I have these printed out from them, has to say about him. The synopsis on there, the main part of the copy says, greatness demands sacrifice. After suffering a potentially career-ending brain trauma, Cameron Cade, first of all, I didn't even know that the nigga was going to have a similar name like that. I don't remember that from trailers. I was like, whoa, Cade Webster in Ruin Road, Cameron Cade and him. So Cameron Cade receives a lifeline when his hero, legendary 8-time championship quarterback and cultural megastar Isaiah White, offers to train Cam at Isaiah's isolated compound that he shares with his celebrity influencer wife. But as Cam's training accelerates, Isaiah's charisma begins to curdle into something darker. So, like, girl, that's why, like, I sound so insane saying I want to see the football horror movie, because I read football horror literally around this time last year, and I'm sounding insane to people saying, like, oh, football horror, you say, but, yeah, I'm finna see it. I know it's gonna be dog shit, but I feel like it's gonna be the kind of dog shit that I don't mind, because... I mean, shoot, I printed out this Rotten Tomatoes, and it says it's, as of today, Friday, a 31% tomato meter, and then popcorn meter audience rating is 57%. Like, I've seen middling horror movies and had fun before. I'd seen The Nun with my brother when neither one of us had seen a fucking Conjuring film before, and we had enough fun with it, so... You know, I'm going to see it, and then I'm probably going to go insane doing my English major comparative shit. Enough of me braying about the football horror movie. Let's move on to the next sport I've been obsessing over. WWE. And, like, before you roll your eyes, oh my God. I don't know what it is. It's the fucking... post-structuralist, it's the metatextual shit of it, it's the is wrestling in ARG of it all. I feel like if you watch that one YouTuber who made that really like grad school type thing analyzing the phenomena of Gaylors, like the people who are into like the Gaylor Swift theory, that kind of partially explains my fascination with wrestling fandom and like storylines and all this. Like, I like it for the athleticism, of course. Like, that shit has me thinking like, girl, I want to go fucking wrestle too. But like, yeah, it's too much. I'm finna link some of my essays that kind of explain me getting obsessed with this after years and years of not giving a shit about it. But yeah. Just, I'm down, you know, the whole thing, especially if you're a Tumblr user, but I think it's like on Twitter and shit too. I tend to use Tumblr more. The whole thing where it's like your mutuals will suddenly become a K-pop a K-pop account overnight, or they'll become a Formula One account overnight, or a hockey RPF account overnight. Well, I've become the fucking wrestling account overnight. But I made a side account for my nonsense, so 90% of it is on the side account. But I never shut the fuck up about it, bro. It's consumed my life half this year. We finna move on to the next part of nostalgia stuff, moving back and forth, which was Big Time Rush. Yeah, Big Time Rush. They've really kind of, I would always revisit the music, but I didn't realize that they kind of had a revival starting a few years ago, because my sister and I, so I'm pushing 30, my youngest sibling, my sister, is pushing 20. And we were like target demographic for the age range of Big Time Rush when it was on TV, right? So it was always interesting. And we were like, yo, like, I know we're probably not going to get a chance to see them now because, boy bands are short-lived. Like, we lived through the Jonas Brothers and all that shit. But we were like, one day, like, when they go the way of NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and do their reunion, we are going to see them. And lo and behold, that day came this summer. We got our lives. We got our lives. The Gen Z monkeys ate. They ate down. There's nothing more to say. Oh my goodness. Always feel free to talk about Big Time Rush with me in any capacity. Any capacity. All right. Speaking of which, like, as I said, I'm pushing 30. So, like, I'm fandom old. I've been on the internet, honestly, like, way too early. I have earliest memories of, like, being on the damn computer with, like, floppy disks and my dad's beepers, old beepers lying around. Like, I remember being on the internet at least since 2000, maybe 2001 if we want to be generous, but still, that's going on 25 years. So 25 years of being on the internet, and then with fandom specifically, that started around 06, 07. So that's about 20 years of fandom nonsense. I'm talking, where's my list of all the places I was frequenting, bro? I am talking. So before Archive of Our Own existed, it was YouTube as a user, and because I had this baby channel that doesn't exist anymore, LiveJournal. LiveJournal is like pre-Tumblr. Fanfiction.net, of course. DeviantArt. Those fucked up proprietary GeoCities and AngelFire fix sites for the really niche fandoms. I'm gonna make a separate vid about this because 2 decades worth of fandom nonsense is like that's so much to trawl through. But we don't want to dwell too much on the past. And I hope I am not blowing this damn mic out, babes. I told you this is gonna be off the cuff. We are not doing too much with this. As long as it's listenable and not completely blowing people's ears up, we're putting it up. Anyways, not to dwell too much on the past, let's look at some people who mix the past and the present in a healthy way, like the makers of some of my favorite first listens of this year. This is the new favorite music. So, in no order, and oh my God, I forgot to look up how to pronounce his name, but I guess I'll start with him first. The R&B singer whose name is spelled Giveon, his sophomore album, Beloved. To me, it's his debut because I'm late. I didn't know about him before, but somebody said, listen to Beloved. That was R&B heaven. Apparently, he's a Sinatra girly like me. So, of course, if I wasn't already in love with you because of the album and the production and the you of it all, like, you're a Sinatra girly. Like, what the fuck? The band Wednesday, their album Bleeds, that shit was good. That shit was good. I've been getting back into my rock mode. I've always been a rock listener, but I go in and out of like musical moods, and I was getting into like shoegazy, like heavy stuff again. So that Wednesday album, Bleeds, really hit the itch for me, or scratched the itch. Of course, Big Time Rush, as I said before, their comeback album, Another Life, but specifically the deluxe version, because I love their acoustic version of Weekends. Oh my God. That got so much. That went platinum in my house. That went platinum in my kitchen while I was doing dishes. Um, Mayhem by Gaga. Enough said. There's nothing else to say about that. I am a 2008 Gaga stan. I have been there since 2008. Of course, I loved Mayhem. And then, of course, another R&B queen, because R&B is one of the best genres ever. I love R&B. I got put on to Naomi Sharon this year. Her debut album Obsidian, but the extended version specifically. But the regular version is good too. It's just like there's people who are saying it's a little presumptuous to do the Sade comparisons, and like I get it, like let her have her own identity, but at the same time she's very much influenced by Sade. She's, one of Sade's offspring. It's okay. I don't think Sade would be mad. I'm saying this as a Nigerian myself. But yeah, moving on to the very, very last part of this, I really wanted to give people like some recommendations for resources every time I do one of these little episodes. This time, and it can be for anything, like whether it's a video game, it's an application, like I think it's a book you guys might find interesting, a video, a YouTuber, whatever the hell. This time it ties back into my obsession with wrestling growing up, but without knowing it, because I didn't get into wrestling until this year. But there was things like the show Mucha Lucha that got me like into some of the culture. And then there's this fucking Ed and Eddie Flash game that I remember playing that was a wrestling one. And I was able to play it through the Flashpoint Archive, which is what I'm recommending right now. The Flashpoint Archive application. This is like no sponsorship. This is no freaking thing. This thing is so cool. People have been recommending it for years. I downloaded the thing, installed it, and it's this thing where people painstakingly scoured the internet and saved so many of these Flash things that got lost to time when Flash became obsolete. I know I'm explaining it incorrectly, because like I'm slightly above average when it comes to tech. Like I can just, you know what I mean? But anyway, like a lot of these things that have been lost to time, they're there. Things you would not expect. Like seriously, there's this one That's So Raven thing that was like my white whale. Like I could never find this shit anywhere. I scoured the Wayback Machine, everything. I finally download the Flashpoint Archive, and it's in there. They saved a copy of it in there. This stupid quiz game that I'd been trying to find for the better part of 2 decades, I found it. So that is my rec, the Flashpoint Archive. That is the end of everything I wanted to talk about today, babes. I can't believe that seemed to go well. If this ends up on YouTube, that means I didn't really have to do much and I hit my goal. So let's let's pray that all goes well. And it doesn't have to be perfect either, because I'm trying to do these every week and it's off the cuff. We're chilling, we're getting thoughts off our minds, and we're just having fun. I'm gonna do all the timestamps so that you can see those about 6 or 7 main sections. And I will iron out whatever the hell this shit is supposed to be titled in the end. And I'll have some kind of cute slogan later. But for now, it's Nikki, aka at Radio Regine. And that's what's been on my mind this Friday. Links will all be in the description below. I will talk to y'all later on.